Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And this is the exciting moment where I finally get to try the Ommegang Three Philosophers Blueberry Coffee. I bought a gift pack, which I have been extremely pleased with. The Three Philosophers gift set, a selection of four distinct Belgian-style quadruple ales. So Ommegang, if you've ever had the Three Philosophers, it's incredible. I reviewed it earlier on my channel. This has that and three variations of the Three Philosophers, one of which, the blueberry coffee, I know is only available in the gift set, or at least that's what the guy at the liquor store told me. It's very, very hard to find. Let's just put it like that. So the four beers that come in this pack are the original, the wine barrel, the bourbon barrel. I've reviewed all three. Highly recommend all of them. I've been saving this blueberry coffee for last because of how intriguing it sounds, how unique it sounds. A little bit about the beer from the box. I'm going to read it out to you guys right now. It says, married with blueberries and freshly roasted Ethiopian coffee beans, our acclaimed blend burst into uncharted territory. If it's subtlety you're seeking, look elsewhere. This bold brew demands attention. Now, this one clocks in at 9.7%, which is what the original Three Philosophers clocks in at. The bourbon barrel was the strongest of the four at 10.5%, the wine barrel at 10.2, and then this one at 9.7. So, I've obviously never had this beer. I'm very, very excited about it. I think that the blueberries and the coffee is really going to marry well with the dark fruit notes and the Belgian fruity, yeasty flavors eh, that you get with the Belgian style ales. Not to mention that the Ommegang beers, the Three Philosophers beers, are actually a blend of quadruple and creek. So you have the quadruple ale with the caramel and the fig and the date and all of those dark fruit notes and goodness with the creek ale, which has cherries added to it. So you get that tart cherry note with the quadruple style, and then you add blueberry and coffee to that. Are you kidding me? It sounds absolutely incredible. Let's just get into it here. I'm really excited and interested to see what this beer looks like. Will it have a different appearance because it has blueberries in it? No, it will not. Well, I say that. It's actually darker brown and more opaque, but it's still got that. It's got a brown, super hazy, opaque appearance with about a one finger. I'll say that's khaki. Kind of a khaki mix between a frothy and a creamy looking head. All right, the aroma. Honestly, I'm getting a little bit of like a tobacco note in it. The caramel is coming through. Maybe a touch of the blueberry, some of the dark fruit notes, the fig and date, not getting any plum or pear. The coffee is there, but it's really muted. I thought the coffee was going to be, right popping in my face. A lot of coffee character, not so much. Blueberry is coming through a little bit. It's almost got a blueberry muffin aroma to it. Nice and bready and yeasty, malt forward. That little bit of a spiced bread note. None of the 9.7% is coming through on the aroma. You can't tell that this is a high alcohol beer by any stretch of the imagination. It's not boozy on the nose whatsoever. It smells absolutely delightful. I am just dying to get into this. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. Hmm. So you're getting all of the basics with this that you're getting with the standard Three Philosophers and the other variations that I've had. The blueberry does come through a little bit in the middle of the sip, but initially you are getting the caramel sweetness, a nice lightly toasted bread note, some spiced bread notes in there as well, caramel, plum, raisin, date, fig. The blueberry is there, but it's very mild. I wish it popped a little bit more. The coffee is pretty much non-existent actually on the palate. I was picking up a little bit on the nose. It doesn't really translate to the palate. You've got all the dark fruit notes, the caramel, the spiced bread notes, the complexity from the Belgian yeast, a little bit of the blueberry muffin thing, like I said. So the coffee kind of gets lost with this. Maybe they should have added a little bit more coffee. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, like maybe they didn't want to add too much coffee because of all of the complexity of this particular style. If you put too much coffee in the beer, then it might overwhelm the palate, and you really wouldn't be able to pick up on all the nice little subtle nuances that I'm getting right now. So I'm not complaining for the lack of coffee because coffee is a strong flavor, and I've had a lot of coffee beers that they overdo it on the coffee, and you just don't get any of the other notes. I'm not. That's definitely not the experience with this. I'm getting that blueberry muffin thing. I'm getting the dark fruit, like I said, that nice spiced bread note, caramel sweetness, roasty, toasty note in the middle of the sip. It drops off pretty nicely on the back end. It is slightly warming going down at 9.7%. You know you're drinking a higher ABV beer, although the palate, the actual body of the beer itself, is not boozy by any stretch of the imagination. This is an absolute delight, a wonderful beer. I wish there was a little bit more blueberry and maybe a touch more coffee because the coffee is completely lost on the palate. No bitterness, astringency whatsoever from the coffee. None of that Ethiopian roast. None of those notes are coming through on the palate whatsoever, which is slightly disappointing. Overall, though, I do think this is an excellent quadruple style ale. The cherries are kind of getting lost there as well. I picked them up a lot more on the other variations of the Three Philosophers. So I know that it's kind of lost with this a little bit. A little bit of tartness, which could be coming from the cherries. It could be coming from the blueberries. It's hard to really say, but not as much as the other beers. It's not coming through as much. This one is actually my least favorite of the 4 pack. I saved this one for last because I was expecting great things from it because of how unique it sounded, and I love the idea of the blueberries and coffee in this style of beer. It's really unheard of and unique, but it's really my least favorite. It's still excellent nonetheless. I'm going to go with a 96 out of 100. It is a wonderful quadruple ale cuvee blend of all of the best stuff known to man. Um, it just I wish there was a little bit more blueberry, maybe a little bit more coffee, a little bit more tartness. The dark fruit notes, though, that the quadruple base beer is definitely there, though. It's medium bodied, medium high carbonation with a nice drying, warming finish. It's very inviting. You can get carried away with this just like you could with the other variations, the other expressions of this. But this is actually, like I said, my least favorite. My favorite was the bourbon barrel aged version, which I reviewed on my channel also. That was the previous review to this. That is by far the best one out of the 4 pack, in my opinion. I do love this one. I wish there were more blueberries in it. I wish it had more of that fruity bite, but it's everything you want for a quadruple ale. It's just not necessarily as advertised, but it's excellent nonetheless. Like I said, I'm going to go with a 96 out of 100. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you can find the gift set in your area. It comes with this nice glass, as well as 4 of the 3 Philosophers brews. They're all excellent. Getting up, and 2 of them are world class. So they're all wonderful, wonderful brews, and I couldn't recommend them anymore. So definitely check them out if you can find Ommegang beers in your area. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. 96 out of 100 for the Ommegang 3 Philosophers Blueberry Coffee Expression. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.